Hello and welcome to CLEA'S World. I am Clea, and today I would like to share with you more of the information I've received from a 25th dimension during my last QHHT Hypnosis session. I'll be reading from a transcript of the session, and when I refer to Lorrayne, I'm speaking of my practitioner who's asking me questions I've prepared for the session, and when I refer to me, I'm speaking of myself under hypnosis, which means the answers are coming from 25th. Before I move forward, I'd like to thank you as always for watching, and I would love it if you could comment below to let me know if this stuff resonates with you, if you do enjoy the dreams, because that's what we're going to be talking about today, and whatever else is going on with you. You know, it keeps me company, and I really love this community. I love to hear from you guys. All right, here's Lorrayne with the first dream. She says, this is Clea's dream from June 6th. He says, I was at a ceremony where a young adult was supposed to commit to a life in a strict religion, like the Mormon church. She didn't know what she was doing. She was under pressure and just wanted to be good, quote unquote. And I was trying to save her, to ask her to stop before it was too late. But everyone else, hundreds of guests there, were celebrating her. They couldn't care less about her becoming a slave and never having a way out when she knew nothing about life yet. I was trying not to turn everyone against me, but I was also trying to stop her. I was looking for where she would be, wanting to position myself, but it was hard. My mother was there too. We sat next to each other on this top platform. Then I went out of the room. There was a little shop, and I was about to buy something when the salesperson recognized me from my book and was talking with a customer about me like it was a big deal to have me there. And the customer asked me to write a dedication on my book, which she was buying. I normally wrote the same thing for everyone, but for some reason, this phrase came to me and I wrote it down. For those of us used to having our lives scrutinized. And then I was going to write something along the lines of, we have learned that, blah, 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 blah. But the first bit is all I wrote. This phrase told me that I had learned an important life lesson and I was sharing it. There were two other ladies shopping who didn't know what was going on, but then caught on when they saw me writing my book. I thought of how easy it was for me to write, and I knew I could write any book I wanted and envisioned myself writing a new story and releasing it chapter by chapter online. A story that talked about a young woman who had a very happening life, very exciting. In the next scene, I went to an office building and a blonde lady in her 60s set me up with a business structure that kind of covered everything in my life. I knew I already had some pieces of the structure in place, but Dr. Weller had told me to go to that address when I asked him if he knew about these things. And even though I didn't know what to expect, I trusted him. He had told me to call a number, and the man who had answered was a concierge, like in a hotel. And he had told me to go to this place as if it was this chain reaction that you had access to only if you knew the main movers. And now this lady was taking me to a coffee shop where they gave me a cookie in a punch card in the shape of an apple that had hundreds of holes in it. And I would get another cookie once I filled all the holes by going there and ordering. It would take me forever. It didn't seem worth it for a cookie. I was there with a girlfriend, but she didn't get anything because she wasn't being set up, and I felt bad for her. I didn't know why they couldn't just give her a cookie too. Please comment. And I have to say, some of these dreams are very funny and very strange, as dreams tend to be. Me. So there were different things going on in this dream. So we'll go very quickly through the sections here. Basically, the first section speaks to the fact that, again, we've spoken about this before. Clea has been, because of her role, she's envisioned her life. She's led her life as if she's a savior in terms of she's here to fix things. And that's pretty much what she was doing in the dream, trying to save this person from religion, from slavery. And this is the objective that the light workers have had here, to raise the vibration, etc., etc. In the meantime, of course, the system is being very dark here. So everybody in the system, all these attendees to this event, were more than happy to uphold another sacrifice, another human sacrifice, the way that Clea looks at it, into the system. And so that's pretty straightforward. Of course, her mom was there. Her mom is on the team of the light. And so she's always been by Clea's side. They've done a lot of work together. They will do much more work together in the quote unquote future because her mom is on an alien planet. We've spoken about the fact that she'll be going to New Earth. So there was that part. Now, the part about Clea going to this coffee shop or shop area and being recognized. Now, it's not so much about the being recognized. And of course, this is when the veil falls. We will all know who is doing what. And we already said there is no better or worse role. All roles are equal. But we're saying in reference to the fact that we have chosen different self-imposed missions for ourselves. So in that sense, we'll know who is doing what. In Clea's case, she has been distributing information, and that's why she thought it is so easy for me to speak. Of course, she's aligned with this. She has done the communications work as part of one of her tasks, her roles or duties, almost, we can call it. And so, of course, it would be so easy. It is so easy for her to distribute information and to express concepts and so on. And that's why she's always in this lifetime, for example, always known that she was going to be a writer since she was a few years old, and she had just learned to read and write when she was 3 or 4 years old. But the point of her dedication when she was writing about, for those of us who are used to having our lives scrutinized, was the fact that she has to play somewhat of a public role, which is not necessarily something that she has aspired to or wanted to have happen, especially considering that she did write a book about her own personal life, which again is not something that she ever thought that she would do. But there was a purpose for that, and it has served its purpose. But also in general, the fact that yes, as she wrote that, she realized she has lessons to share that she has learned. And the lessons that she has learned refers to the lesson we've all learned, all the lessons we are learning right now. First and foremost, we do create our reality. So again, in dream state, we see people. We use characters that we can relate to. So we'll always obviously use our own character because we know how the character feels. So it helps explain how we feel. It clarifies a lot of the things we're going through. But really, when we say Clea's learned lessons, we don't mean to say that only Clea's learned lessons. By now, we hope you know that it's never an individual matter. We are all one. And so really, what this is referring to is that all of us doing this project have learned lessons, and this is what it is. For the last part of the dream, when it talks about the system, where you kind of have to, it's almost like a rabbit hole. You have to somehow run into one of the openings into this rabbit hole. And if you find it, great, then you're taken care of. But if you don't find it, then too bad for you. You're stuck outside in the reality everybody's living through. Even this friend of hers, she's with Clea. It's still, they're living two completely different realities. Clea's getting a cookie and they were laughing, plus the punch card for another cookie, and they were still laughing because it is kind of weird if she does all these things, you know, and all the holes in the punch card get filled. And the friend is standing right there. She doesn't even get a cookie. She gets nothing. And Clea is thinking, it would be so easy to give her a cookie, but that's not how it works. Her friend is not doing the things that Clea is doing, is not doing, and we don't mean it in terms of one is doing the right thing and one is doing the wrong thing, or one is doing more than the other. They're just not having the same experience. They're just not doing the exact same thing, just because they happen to be witnessing the same event going on, which is the coffee shop, the cookie, and the punch card. Her friend is seeing it as it's just something that is happening. She's not making it happen. It's not the experience she's wanting to have. Clea, of course, is thinking, I want everybody to have this experience because this is a good experience. My experience is better, which of course is our judgment, you know? Who wouldn't want a cookie? And we're laughing. But there are people that don't want cookies, or people that don't think it's right to give cookies to everybody, even though it would be so easy to give a cookie to our friend. You see, this once again is our judgment, especially on the team of the light. We've had these kinds of judgments as everybody should want this. It's so obvious that this is a better option, which is not obvious to anybody else. And they were chuckling. It's just what we decide, what we believe is obvious. And so the last part was about, you know, creating our own reality, really. This was always available. These people were always there, and they only allowed passage to somebody who somehow found a way to connect with one of them and then be brought through this process. And Clea, because she has done the work she's done, like the rest of us, found this way in. So this way is for us. It's not for everyone necessarily. So this is what this last part was referring to. And again, this world is no better than the one outside. In Clea's mind, it was. It means now I finally manifested my way into a better reality, which is literally what we're doing. Not only we manifested our way into a better reality here, but we are going to manifest an even better, much better, a million times better reality soon on your earth. And so this is what it is. But again, this is not for everybody. So her friend, even though she was right there, she was an outsider in that sense. But her friend didn't feel bad. It's not that her friend was asking for the cookie. And even the reality outside didn't feel bad to Clea. It just felt like normal reality, as opposed to now I have this path through. This easier path is going to accelerate everything. And of course it is. Now we know that we create our reality. Of course, everything is accelerating. So that part is really referring to what we are doing right now. So you see, This dream really is showing us everything that's transpired here. We went from religion, slavery, the usual basically, and all of us, all of 3D celebrating the slavery in this very dark system to, and of course, Clea with her role of being one of the 12,000 saying, no, this is wrong, okay? Because again, we have to have our mission here. We pretend to have a mission. We pretend that we didn't like anything that was happening. But again, we'll say one more time, we talked about this in past dreams. Clea wasn't busting up the thing. She was trying to do this very smoothly without calling attention to herself because she knew it would not end well. And she said, no, they would probably escort me out. So you see. So really, what did she do? She went along with it. And if she didn't manage, then she didn't manage. This girl was going to be lost. So again, this is to underline once more, to highlight the fact that we haven't busted up anything. We went along with this. It was fine at the end of the day, you see. So there was this phase. This is what's happened in the past. And then we go through the phase where we now are saying, we've learned this. We are done. We're done with this project. We're done with this lesson. And then we can talk about it. Now we've actually accomplished what we wanted to accomplish. And again, you know, Lorraine, because you always bring this up and you're perfectly correct in bringing it up when you say we're not here to learn. We said this before. We use this word to say we have acknowledged at a conscious level. The higher self always knew. Guess what? The higher self knows it's creating reality because it's creating reality right now. The higher self does not have to learn anything. So when we say learn, we mean as in this was the point of this project, was for us to consciously learn that we create our reality, and we have accomplished that piece. The last bit is about now we're finding our way out and realize that while we are still here, we're basically going into almost like a more accelerated path of reality, where reality doesn't have to look the way that it looks or it looked before. It can look accelerated or augmented, basically more pleasant. Everything happens more quickly in the way that we want it to happen, in a sweet way, with a cookie. We're laughing because now we know that we control our reality, and therefore we can make it happen in a much more pleasant way. In Clea's mind, it happens as in doors open up for me, concierge service. Everybody's here to help me, which is exactly what we had discussed. She has intended for NPCs to open doors for her and do all kinds of things for her. She's not interested in breakdowns anymore, which is true. And my life has become easier. However, doesn't mean it's perfect. So I don't want you guys thinking that, who knows, you know, I'm living this dream. I'm definitely ready to go to New York. Let's put it that way. Lorraine, thank you. I don't know, that last portion of the dream, I don't like these people that are making Clea jump through hoops for those cookies. The 21st was cracking up. I imagine a reality where I get cookies when I feel like it and I don't have to do anything to get them. And the 21st was still laughing because Lorraine is hilarious. I don't know. My personality is always one that if you're going to make me jump through hoops for something, it's not worth it. Me. See, that's how your kitties feel. That's why they eat all their food and don't gain any weight, because they're like, I want all the cookies. I want them. I want them. And I don't want to gain any weight. That's the way to be. And we're all laughing, both Lorraine and the 25th. And I don't know if you remember the reference to Lorraine's kitties. They've been eating more than usual. She says they've been eating twice as much as usual and they don't gain any weight. So we talked about this previously in this session. So that's why the 21st was referring to it, saying these kitties clearly are on your same page there. They just want to do whatever they want. And I love it. I wish I had that life. All right. Thank you as always for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Take care. Bye.